Okay, everyone, happy Tuesday. I will not be with you, at least for the morning classes today, because I am proctoring the ACT test. So that means that you have ample time to work on your essay before submitting it at the end of the week, or I'm sorry, after spring break. So use this time wisely, and I'll get to that lesson in just a minute, but I wanted to also tell you to be mindful of this week and what's going on. First and foremost is a reflection sheet. If you will just click on this link, it will prompt you to make a copy. Again, make sure you change the title so that it has your name on it. And you're just going to go through and, be conscientious of what you did and why you did it for your project and fill this out, especially when it gets down to like these portions. Okay, if you are struggling to answer these, then that means that you need to go back and look at your project a little bit more, because part of the grade is on how complete does the project feel. All right, so be mindful of this, get it done, change the title, and share it with Ponder on the day of your presentation. Okay, similarly, today is Read Across America Day, so take a picture either in front of the library with their display or reading a book. You can do it on Instagram. You can share this on Twitter. If you do it on Twitter, make sure you tag me just so I can brag on you a little bit as well. A great picture would maybe be you reading Native Son, but that's just my biased opinion. Also, Wednesday, Thursday will be our project presentations. So if you don't recall what we're working on or what we're doing, or when you are presenting, here is the presentation schedule. There's the rubric that I'll be using. You need to be familiar with it. And then here are the days. Okay. I am hopeful to get through all of these. If we do not, then you will present on Friday. The way this works is, so for instance, first period on Monday, out of this group of students, I will say, does anybody want to go first? Okay. And we'll do it that way. Now, if the bell rings, whatever students we don't get through, we'll get to present on Friday, hopefully. Don't guarantee that, because if Darion is the only one who's ready to present, then all the rest of you will have 10 points taken off and it will be considered late. So please take me seriously on that. And then on Thursday, same thing. I will say, does anybody want to volunteer to go first? We will do it, and then whoever, because the bell rings, we will present on Friday for the leftovers. Okay, so this is by no means the order of your presentation. Okay, so that will be on Wednesday, Thursday. And also just make sure you're also reading the Intro to the Native Son, which is a separate page on here. It's just things that you need to be mindful of as we are reading it, especially the reading schedule and how I'm expecting you to track your thinking. Okay, so please, 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 please pay attention to that. All right, so let's get back to what we're doing today. All right, today's independent work on your essay. You are preparing your final draft, which will be turned in the week after spring break. Now, I'm going camping for spring break. I will not be reading your essays over spring break, okay? I do have tutorials this afternoon as well as Thursday afternoon, so if you have specific questions, make time to join the Zoom for my tutorials. But the gist of what we're focusing on here is the difference between active and passive voice. This is a style of writing where some students like to have a passive voice. However, since this essay is an argumentative essay, you need to be definitive, which means I want you to remove any passive voice. Okay, so what passive voice is if you look at this example, the piano is played by the lady. Well, who is doing the action? It's the lady. Okay, and so passive voice is when you put whatever is doing the action after the verb. Okay, and if you were to revise this, does anybody want to guess? It would be the lady played the piano. Okay, it's a lot more direct, but it's also putting emphasis on different objects. So in passive voice, it is putting emphasis on piano for this one, right? And not emphasizing who is doing it. All right, so let's look at another one. The children climbed all over the jungle gym. This is a very active tense, right? Because there's no question about who is doing the action. It's the children, all right? And then they threw several balls. So notice the emphasis on they did it versus several balls were thrown by them. All right. So sometimes active voice can have a little bit more of an accusatory tone, which is what you're going for with your argument essay. So I need you to be mindful of that and how you can use that in your essay, because sometimes passive voice is good to use. For instance, if you look at this example, right, President John F. Kennedy was assassinated by Lee Harvey Oswald. So the emphasis again is on John F. Kennedy, right, and the fact that he was assassinated, rather than putting emphasis on who actually did it. All right. So you can use the passive voice sparingly. Okay. Limited in your essay. So that is the big grammar focus that you're doing. All right. Now, when it comes to the essay, one thing I definitely need you to think about, and I will post this as well, is for this essay, I'm expecting it to be formally completed, which means you are completing it on a Google Doc and then you're loading it into Canvas, or you could save it as a PDF and put it on Canvas, whatever's easiest. But I'm expecting it to be MLA formatted, which means you have a formal header. Okay, so your last name and page number goes in the header. So this is what you need to have right here. You need to have your name, Pre-Advanced English 2. Make sure you put the period number, teacher's name. I'm just curious to see if you know how to spell my name correctly, and the date you were turning it in. Now, all great essays should have a creative title that goes with it. All right, so be mindful about the title, and keep in mind that the title can actually lead me into the learning that I'll be doing through your essay. So be mindful of that. Now, another thing you'd need to keep in mind is how this is actually typed. Okay, we're going to skip 2, and then we're going to hit tab to indent because this is a new paragraph, right? So there's a little sentence for you, okay? Period. Now I'm just gonna do some nonsense up here, right? Because then when I get to my next one, I'm gonna hit tab again, okay? Woo! All right, so there's some more information for you. Once you're done with that paragraph, hit enter, hit tab, okay? This is your second one. You know what, just because I'm feeling a little rushed right now, let's do this. Now, you do have a third one. Okay, and then finally you'll have your conclusion. So, but the problem is some of you have not been expected to do this before. So now what we have to do is put this into double space. Okay, that just spreads it out some. Likewise, everything needs to be in Times New Roman 12-point font. All right. Okay. I will leave this video up for the week. It will be up for spring break. If you have questions before spring break, feel free to message me, text me. Don't email. My email box is so full, it's ridiculous. But I will help you as much as I can, as much as I am able on Tuesday and Thursday afternoon. All right. Okay, guys, I hope you all have a fabulous day, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Ciao.